Hey, good evening, good evening. Welcome again, episode 7, the Dome Podcast, man. This T Haynes of Tony the Dome and IntoTheDome.com, man. I appreciate the love so far. We're only on episode 7, man, but we're having a good time. So today, switch it up a little different. We're gonna talk about how Versus has changed the culture in hip hop. And we debating, we having a good time talking about it over the last year or two. And most people talk about artists versus artists, but let's do some label versus label type situation. Everyone know that in the 90s, Bad Boy and Death Row were at odds, East Coast, West Coast, beef, drama, whatever you want to call it. Vibe magazine taking it to another level where it shouldn't have gone. Tupac and Biggie, we lost them. Puff and Suge Knight had some personal beef. Some people did pass away before Biggie and Pac over the conflicts and just things of that nature. So let's talk about the music, though. In regard to the music, these two labels were the faces of hip hop during the mid 90s. Death Row started really in the early 90s, you know what I'm saying, with the Chronic and then Doggy Style and Above the Rim and Pac coming on and the Dog Pound and Rage, RBX, DLC helping to write for them and things like that. Of course, we know what Puff did with Bad Boy, Biggie, and a long list of other artists. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about them today as well. But as you can see up here, we're going to go 20 tracks. You know what I mean? 20 tracks of Death Row versus Bad Boy. I'm going to change the screen in a second. We're going to go down and we're going to have a good time. And I'm going to tell you, man, this is close, but this is the hip-hop edition. This is not the R&B edition. I'm not adding Total in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not adding, Carl Thomas or nobody like that. This is the hip-hop tracks versus hip-hop tracks. If we wanted to add in R&B, it's hard to do those kind of matchups because I think Puff did more R&B than Death Row. So it's really that's not what their focus was. You know what I'm saying? So let's take a look. Let's start. Let's talk about it, man, because this can be pretty fun right here. Just a little something to lighten up on this Sunday before Carolina play at 5 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? I'm in North Carolina, so we got to support Carolina, man. So, but at any rate, let's kind of take a look, man. We're going to start at round 1. Flavor in Your Ear remix versus Nothing But a G Thing. Woo! And let me tell you, this is tough because both of them were legendary for both coasts and both were legendary for hip hop culture. You know what I'm saying? So, what do you guys think? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, any of you guys have time to comment in the comment section, please do so. But yeah, Flavor in Your Ear remix versus Nothing But a G Thing. Oh man. Much as I love Flavor in Your Ear, I think I'm gonna go with Nothing But a G Thing, man. I think it had a bigger cultural impact. It literally helped take the West Coast to another level. Flavor in Your Ear is dope. Remix LL, you know what I'm saying? Busta Rhymes, it's a classic. Don't get me wrong, it is a hip hop classic, but I don't know if it had the cultural impact that Nothing But a G Thing has. So I'm gonna give round 1 to Death Row. Round 2, you see we have Juicy and Let Me Ride. Oh man. Even though Let Me Ride is a great song, I'm gonna go with Juicy because Juicy to me is one of the greatest rap songs of all time because the story Big told in Juicy is probably, especially during that time, what every aspiring rapper thought about. They thought about, being in the source, having a Word Up magazine on the wall and all of this stuff like that. They probably dreamed the same way Big dreamed on Juicy and displayed that beautifully. It's like a hip hop anthem for people who want to rap. So I would say that Juicy, I would go so far as to say Juicy is one of the top 10 rap songs of all time. I'm not talking about, I know some of you guys get into there's a lot of songs more lyrical, or there's a lot of songs just, more detailed and more, well, we're just talking about a song that means so much for the culture and that just kind of was easy to follow. Most people know every word to Juicy. You know what I'm saying? It's just a better song. You know what I'm saying? So I would say round 2 would be for Bad Boy. I try to make this as fair as possible. You guys can do your own list, of course, and post them. I will post these lists at some point on Twitter, maybe in a few days after people see the show. I don't want to give everything away, but anyway, I try to make it fair as I can. But of course, when we're talking about two prominent labels, you can mix a lot of these songs up. You can restructure the matchups however you feel. This was just some of my initial thoughts. So round three, I have One More Chance remix versus Gin and Juice. Listen, you have to admit this is a tough matchup right here. You know, whoo. Depending on where you are, when One More Chance remix come on in the club, people go crazy. But when Gin and Juice come on, people go crazy. So I absolutely don't know about this. What you guys think? Please put your comments in the comment section. For the sake of politicking, I'm gonna go with Gin and Juice. For round three, I'm gonna go with Death Row, Gin and Juice over One More Chance remix. I know that's tough, but that's what I'm gonna do. Number four, Hypnotized versus California Love. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't like Hypnotized that much, but I also don't love California Love that much either. These are two songs. Whenever I listen to both albums, when I listen to Life After Death, I skip Hypnotized every time. If I'm riding in the car, if we're in the club, of course, I'll listen, but I'm not riding to Hypnotized. If I'm listening to All Eyes on Me, I skip California Love. I go to the joints with E40 in the morning, you know what I'm saying? Hearts of Men or something. I don't even listen to California Love. But for the sake of this, again, I will say that California Love is going to win round four. So we have in Death Row up 3-1 right now. But of course, this is all subjective. Of course, other people would think that the songs that I picked, they wouldn't pick, which is fine. Number 5, Warning versus Lil Ghetto Boy. So, Warning is a dope album cut. It's a dope track anyway. It's probably Biggie in his element because that sounds like the type of song Biggie, without Puff, Big probably would have had 15 Warners on Ready to Die. But it's a dope song. Little Ghetto Boy to me is the best song on the Chronic. I said that in 1991ish, 92ish, and I said that in 2022. Lil Ghetto Boy is the best song on the Chronic. Lil Ghetto Boy is one of the best rap songs I've ever heard. It's definitely a top 5 West Coast song to me. I'm gonna give round 5 rather to Death Row. You know what I'm saying? Round 6, All About the Benjamins versus Ambition of a Rider. I'm gonna give that to All About the Benjamins. It's tough. This one can go either way. Ambition of a Rider is a perfect way to start off an album, and the way All Eyes on Me started off with this joint, I mean, it bangs. It bangs to this day. It's not dated. Daz, I believe, did this beat, probably a top 3 or 4 Daz beat in his career. But All About the Benjamins, man, I just feel like it's gonna give it a somewhat of an edge in a club setting, in a concert setting, maybe. I don't know, man. This is a very tough one, but I will give round 6 to Bad Boy. Kind of reluctantly, you know what I'm saying? Kind of reluctantly, but I did. Okay. Round 7, we have Feel So Good, Mace versus Doggy Dog World. Oh man, what do you guys think about this one right here? This is definitely Mace in his element. You know what I'm saying? Once he switched over from Murder Mace to Rockin' with Puff, this is a big song. Obviously, Harlem World, 4 million. We were just talking earlier today about who's the king of Harlem. I said it's Cameron, even though Big L is the best rapper from Harlem. Someone actually said from Harlem said Jim Jones is the face of Harlem. I was very shocked by that. I mean, I know he's been hotter for the last few years, and I'm going off on a tangent right now. But I would still say Cameron. Now back to Mace. Mace was killing at this point. He was the face of Harlem for the short, shiny suit era. This was a big song, but Doggy Dog World is gonna win this one right here. The vibe is better. I think it aged better. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, round 7, we're gonna give that to Death Row. You know what I'm saying? Round 8, Whoa Black Rob Regulate by Warren G. Though I like Regulate probably better, Woe is gonna win this one. Woe is gonna get the crowd hype right now. Woe sounds probably better in the whip to me. Woe sounds dope in the club. It just has the energy that I feel like is gonna edge out Regulate. But man, I'm gonna tell you something. Regulate is dope. Nate Dogg, rest in peace, had a gangster hook on it. Man, I'm a little torn, man. I'm saying Woe, but I could easily say Regulate right here. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. I have Death Row up pretty substantially, and I try to make this as even as possible. But right now, when I'm looking at it, Death Row definitely has the edge on the first half so far, man. So, oh man, I'm gonna go with Woe, but Regulate, I don't know, man. I'm torn. Round number 9, More Money, More Problems versus the Shishnik. People I don't know. People I don't know. You have to admit these are some tough matchups, man. Maybe they aren't to you, but I swear this is tough for me right now. More money, more problems, and the Shishnik. Man, please put a comment down there. What do you think about some of these matchups, man? I just think this one right here is almost dead even. But I'm gonna go with more money, more problems. Uh, almost reluctantly again. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm gonna go with Bad Boy on this one right here for round 9. Um, but I just don't know. I can see that. mm, I can see a lot of people are gonna look at this and they're gonna pick the Shiznik right here, and they're gonna pick Regulate as well. I just really believe that. I really believe that. Number 10, round 10. We're about to be halfway through already with this part of the verses that will get into some other things. You see, Special Delivery G Dep versus Mind Made Up. Special Delivery is dope. Mind Made Up with Tupac, Red and Meth, Corrupt Dash, and of course those verses they say you can listen to the Expect the Deck verse that was taken off. And the Deck said in the interview, man, he felt like some people was hating on him because his lyrics. Deck said they took me off. They kind of he felt like some hate going on. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, man, Mind Made Up for round 10 is definitely gonna win. Death Row is gonna definitely win that one. Even though Special Delivery is dope, and I'm a big G Dep fan. G Dep Child of the Ghetto was a dope album to me. The song Every Day I Know with Faith is one of my favorite songs, man. I swear to God, the lyrics were so heartfelt. Man, 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 man. Bought a Nintendo now and called him dad. But anyway, whew, round 11, Victory off No Way Out album, Puff with Biggie and Busta Rhymes, man. That's a tough one right there, man. That's a tough song, you know what I'm saying? We got That Against Murder Was the Case. Victory versus Murder Was the Case, people. What do you think? Because again, this is a tug of war match for me. Whew. Victory versus Murder Was the Case is just a heavyweight fight. 12 rounds is going to the judges, man. You know what I'm saying? like I literally now look, I did this list in about 20 minutes earlier this morning. So I haven't had much time to think. I haven't had any time actually to think on this. I did this list, I typed it, I put it up here just right before the show started. So this is my first time really looking at it, doing the knowledge with you guys who are watching this, which is going to be a recording. Obviously, it's not live. But as you watch this, you'll see that, I'm just as torn as some of you guys probably are going to be. So I'm going to go with Victory, okay? Over Murder Was the Case. I'm gonna go with Victory over Murder Was the Case. And we'll just leave it at that for right now. We can debate this later. We can debate this in the comment section. Round 12, Bad Boy by Shine versus Recognized by Sam Snead. Look, I know a lot of East Coast cats really gonna pick this Shine song. It's hard, the beat bangs. I actually like Shine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't never get the bigger comparison. I thought he had his own little thing going, and I liked it. I thought the song was very dope. Now there's a special place in my heart for this Sam Snead Recognize Me. I just love this song, man. This is like one of my favorite Death Row songs personally. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought Sam Snead was cool with it. I remember the Source Awards when Death Row performed, everyone performed on Death Row. He came out and performed that song, man. And it was just so dope the way he did it. He had a good vibe and just New York welcomed him. I thought he got a good reception when he did the song, man. But you know what? I know as much as people love that Bad Boy, I'm going with Sam Snead Recognize, man. I like it better, man. I think it's a better song. You know what I'm saying? Even though I love Shine on Bad Boy. Okay, man. Number 13. Round 13. Biggie Who Shot You versus Rage Afro Puffs. I know some people might think this a wash, man, but Rage was amazing. Afro Puffs was one of the staples of Death Row. That song was a massive song. And the only problem with Death Row and Rage is they dropped the ball on Rage. I think they end up dropping Rage album. Was it Necessary Roughness or something like that? Like 2 or 3 years too late. 2 or 3 years too late, they dropped the album. They supposed to drop that when she did the intro for Snoop album, when she was hot. Afro Puffs come out, you drop it. Drop that song, man. But unfortunately, Who Shot You is one of the bangingest songs in the history of hip hop to me. If it would have been a diss song, like a real diss song, he would have named anyone in there, he'd have crushed them. Bad Boy, round 13. Biggie Smalls takes that one. Round 14, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down. Puff versus Ain't No Fun. Well, Snoop is gonna win that one. So we're gonna get round 14 to Death Row. Ain't No Fun is one of the better songs on Doggy Style. It's a feel good song and got some gangsterism in it too, man. You know what I'm saying? So it served its purpose, man. It's a dope song. Round 15, it gets real. Unbelievable. Primo laced Unbelievable. Unbelievable is one of my top 3 songs on Ready to Die, along with Everyday Struggle and the What probably, or the title track Ready to Die. But I digress. Against Hail Mary, probably the standout song on Machiavelli, a hip hop classic, a legendary track. Although I personally might like Unbelievable more, Hail Mary's impact on the culture is just too much to be denied, man. So I'm gonna give that to Tupac and Hail Mary. Round 16, good people. 10 Crack Commandments versus Pour Out a Little Liquor. Now, Pour Out a Little Liquor was on Thug Life album and it was on Above the Rim soundtrack, if I'm not mistaken. Great song, one of my favorite Pac songs at that time. I felt like doing the Me Against the World and All Eyes on, well, not All Eyes on Me, do Me Against the World and Above the Rim time period. You saw Pac at his most, I think, authentic self. This is a great song. It felt real. It felt heartfelt. But I'm gonna give it a 10 Crack Commandments and Bad Boy because I mean at the time nobody had done a song like that to that degree, like Biggie did. Of course, Cool G Rap and other people had tales and things like that. But the way he slow flowed and broke this down in almost in a story form, definitely a standout track. One of the standout tracks on Life After Death, man. So we're gonna do that now. Round 17, this is just insane right here. As you see, these 2 labels are still just popping off, man. This is insane. Big Papa, Big Papa remix versus Dre Day. Big Papa versus Dre Day. Let me take a sip. I'm sorry. Excuse me, people. What do you do here? You just kind of throw a quarter up. You know what I'm saying? You throw a quarter up and see heads or tails, man. You just don't know. But because of cultural impact and help shift in the West Coast, I'm going to give round 17 to Death Row. This time I do it reluctantly on Death Row side because Big Papa is something special and it still rocks in the club. But then Dre Day is just hard. So I don't know, man. It's a tough one. 18, let's have some fun here. 18 makes it 24 hours to live. Locks, DMX, everybody. Oh my God, this song is crazy. But 24 hours to live against Dog Pound's classic song on Above the Rim soundtrack, Big Pimpin'. Go back and listen to both of these songs back to back, and you can throw another quarter up in the air. I'm gonna give this one to Bad Boy at 24 Hours to Live, though. Okay. Okay, 19, man. We at 19. Then we'll talk about some other things. There's some songs omitted. There's some reason why certain songs, artists, and things like that are omitted. We will talk about that after we finish these final two rounds. 19, Dead Wrong. Uh, released after Biggie passed away with Eminem on it. This is a tough song, hard song. I mean, it's a banger, man. You know what I'm saying? I would say that it's probably one of the biggest 10 best songs. I would say Dead Wrong is probably one of the biggest 10 best songs, and it saved Born Again. You know, these the albums that release when someone passed away, most times they just aren't that great. You know what I mean? Shout out to Fife Dog and Trial Called Quest because they did an amazing job with Fife album. When I listen back to DMX album, I think I might have been a little hype at the beginning when it was released. You know, and I was listening at the album release listening session with Swiss Beats and them. It is okay. There's a few good songs on it, but it didn't all the way reach the mark. It's okay, pretty good album. It didn't reach the mark the same way Fife's did. Born Again with Dead Wrong didn't really reach the mark to me because I'm thinking you could still have done a better job of putting some old Biggie tracks together, unreleased joints together. But I guess they did the best they could. But Dead Wrong is a staple in Biggie career. It's an amazing song. But it's going up against Me and My Girlfriend or Tupac. It's going up against Me and My Girlfriend. And again, now speaking of Pac real quick, he was studying. It was written summer 1996. The Outlaws already talked about this on YouTube, so don't debate me on this. He got this idea from Nas. I gave you power, okay? Deal with it. And I love Tupac, but deal with it. Pac studied it. He put together a legendary song. This could even be more creative because he didn't say it was a gun. You know what I'm saying, or nothing like that. Even though because Nas did say something about a gun in the beginning of the song, but you would have figured it out once he started breaking the size and about the bullets and everything. You'd have known it was a gun anyway, like Organized Confusion, straight bullet. But anyway, Me Against Me and My Girlfriend rather. It's just a dope song, man. I think that the masses are gonna pick me and My Girlfriend over Dead Wrong. I think some East Coast cats will pick Biggie, but I think the overall hip hop world outside of the states and everything is gonna probably pick Me and My Girlfriend. It is a great song. I'm gonna go with me and My Girlfriend on this one. Okay, this is tough. Round 20. What You Want with Mace and Two of America's Most Wanted. No, What You Want with Mace was big. The video was dope. Mace was in his prime at that time. I mean, this is a big song, man. Don't get it twisted. Mace was doing this thing. Mace was doing this thing. But Two of America's Most Wanted, Pac and Snoop. The video, the vibe. Unfortunately, they didn't vibe too much after that. You know what I'm saying? Because Snoop and Pac did have some issues after that. Pretty significant issues from what has been displayed in interviews over the years. Nevertheless, this was tough. But I'm gonna go with Two of America's Most Wanted. I think that most people would take that one. Most people would say that was a bad matchup on my end. I thought it was pretty good, but that's just what I say, man. So what do you guys think about what I have so far? And let me look here. So I had a 12-8 death row. I had a 12-8 death row in this mock versus with Bad Boy. But again, if I'm doing it as far as the music a label put out, overall music a label put out, Bad Boy is gonna win because I didn't even put any tracks from 112, from Total, or none of that. They're gonna win. And if I'm able to just use Biggie in songs that he's affiliated with, Now I would use the Junior Mafia songs, Get Money remix, Players Anthem, and all of the features that Biggie was on. But again, when I'm thinking about Faith Evans and just all of these other songs and albums of just beautiful music, I think Bad Boy is musically better than Death Row. But this was just a hip hop edition right here. And if we're just looking at just rap songs, it's very close. Someone else might have a 12-8 Bad Boy still, and not even considering the other joints that we left off. You know what I'm saying? Or anything like that. They'll still just consider Bad Boy winning some of the rounds, and I had Death Row winning. That's the good thing about verses, man. It's perspective, how you feel, and everything like that. I was around in college during the height of both of these labels, so and no one was winning. I mean, it was pretty much dead even for me. Now, obviously, in 91, 92, 93, the Chronic and Dog Style, they was winning. You know what I'm saying? But you fast forward to 1995, Bad Boy was winning. You know what I'm saying? Then 1997, Bad Boy was winning. You know what I'm saying? 95, all of Biggie came out at the end of 94. So all of Biggie stuff was 95, and then Junior Mafia. Now you notice I didn't add the Junior Mafia songs because they were undis. They were not on Bad Boy. So I could not add those songs because they were not on Bad Boy. That is the reason why I did not. Some of you will also say, man, you left off all these Tupac songs, man, from All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli. I did. So you're gonna do your own list. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of songs I can only put so many on there, but I also wanted to be fair and throw in Rage and Sam Snead. You know what I'm saying? And then Dre and Snoop. You want to make it as good as possible. And I still missed a few other songs. I didn't add New York, New York on here by the Dog Pound. That should have been added. I do see in my notes right here that I actually had New York, New York by the Dog Pound. We know what that song did in the height of East Coast, West Coast, and things of that nature. We know that when they came and shot the video in New York, that one rumor was some people was inspired by Biggie calling the radio station saying y'all really letting this happen in New York, and they went and shot it up. You know what I'm saying? Shot their their was it their trucks, or they shot something up. Might have been their trailers. I think it was their trailers that they were chilling in, in between shooting scenes and what have you. Excuse me. So there's a lot left off. There's some other Dog Pound songs as well. There's other songs from, but people say, hey, well, you could have picked more songs from Biggie. Well, I could have picked some more songs from Biggie. I could have probably picked 2 or 3 more from the Locks and G Dep and and Black Rob. But then I got to pick some more songs off the Chronic, off Dogger Style, off All Eyes on Me, and off Machiavelli. So some of you might didn't realize how much heat and how much music Death Row had on the hip hop side. Death Row on the hip hop side, might not lose to too many people, too many labels. And same with Bad Boy. Now look, if we're gonna take Bad Boy as an entire musical label, and just from the start of Craig Mack all the way up to past Sean, then it's gonna be hard for anyone to beat what Puff put together. We got to be honest about that, because we're not even naming the R&B groups, like I said earlier. It's gonna be hard because Puff actually reigned longer than Suge did, and that was because Suge Knight, being who Suge Knight is, that's the reason why. So he was cut short. His reign was cut short, and that's kind of the way it goes. So Puff has more overall. What do you think so far? Looking at this list, who else what other songs would you add? Would you add any more artists on this list? Do you feel like this is a fair list in regard to Bad Boy versus Death Row? I think it's as fair as it can be. If we factor in Undeals, of course it wouldn't be close, but we can't factor them in. I think it's pretty close, man. What do you guys think? Once again, episode 7 is concluding. Appreciate it. Holla.